You're listening to The Afternoon on Q101 Merritt's Music Mix. Jesse Paculat with you today. I'm joined right now by Layton Green. Hey, Layton.
How's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good. Just have a day at home here.
Oh, yeah, right on. All right, so Layton is right now the number one ranked Bronc rider on the Canadian circuit?
Yes, sir.
And I was looking at the stats. You are actually far and above in number one right now. So you got kind of a comfortable lead going into this weekend anyway.
No, I got a pretty good lead, and I've had a great year up here in Canada and down south as well, and heck, I'm just going to try and keep winning as much as I can before the finals.
Yeah, so this will be your first finals in December.
Yeah, it'll be my first Wrangler National Finals in December, and also be going to the Canadian Finals in November in Edmonton, and that'll be the third time I've been there.
This is pretty much like making it to the World Series for a baseball player, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yep.
Okay, so this is something that you've dreamed about all your life, and now it's going to happen. So what do you think? Pretty sweet, huh?
You know, I guess it hasn't really sunk in yet. You know, it's kind of the thing I've dreamed of my whole life. Is my main goal has been to, make the national finals in Vegas, and I think it'll pretty much just going to try and keep doing what I've done all year and stuff. But I'm pretty much going to try and keep doing what I've done all year and just have fun.
It's a great attitude to have, man. Let's talk about how you got into it. You got into riding at a very young age. I mean, your brother was actually number one as well for a while.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's a bull rider.
Yeah, on the bull riding circuit.
Yeah, that's right.
So tell us, I guess, the main difference between a bull ride and a bronc ride is, aside from the animal.
Well, I use a saddle. We have a saddle and a rein we hold on to, and there's kind of a different style to it. Bronc riding is considered kind of the classic event or rodeo, and it's one of the hardest events to learn. And bull riding is kind of you use a rope, and that's kind of all a rope, and that's all you get. You just one hand down with a rope, and a horse, or like a good bucking horse, is going to go straight and jump real high in there and kick over his head. And a good bull is considered a bull that might jump out and jump high in there and spin either way. And usually bronc riders aren't a fan of horses that spin.
Okay. You mentioned how it was your dream to make it to the finals. You are making it to the finals, and did you picture yourself at number one headed into the finals?
I try and set goals for myself, and to be number one in Canada, and to go and try and win a Canadian title in November. That's kind of it's dang sure one of my dreams and goals is to be a Canadian champion. But every cowboy, that's the peak of rodeo, and that's what every cowboy, that's what they do it for, and that's what they want to achieve, is to be a world champ. And it's by far the hardest thing to achieve in the world of rodeo.
Let's talk about this weekend. How much impact does this weekend's rodeo have on the final standings?
It's gonna play a factor in it for sure. Any money you win counts towards that world title. You could win it by $100, and you could look back and say, I won Merritt and I won $1,100 there.
Yeah, so every little bit counts.
Yep, every little bit.
This weekend, no different. Now, do you already know the horse that you have lined up for this weekend?
I do, yeah. I got a horse called Boodleer of John Duffy's. He's been to the Canadian Finals the past 2 years, and he's dang sure a bucker. Not a lot of guys ride him, but if you do, you've got a good chance of winning.
This isn't a horse that you've ridden before?
No, I've never been on him before.
Boodleer, that's who you got lined up this weekend. Now, are you excited about that one too?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. I've watched that horse a lot, and I've always kind of wanted to get on him. He's dang sure a bucker, and one you can get a lot of points on.
I guess when you're looking at horses to ride, once you get better, you obviously prefer a horse that might give you more of a challenge.
Yeah, no, for sure. You want the ones that, they buck hard enough that if you stub a toe, they'll buck you off. But if you do your part, you can be in the high 80s or 90 on them.
Oh, okay. And stub your toe, what do you mean by that?
Well, if you screw up a little bit, like there's a lot of horses that are nice enough, if you maybe screw up one jump and do something wrong, you can recover from it. But on a horse like that, if you mess up one jump and don't do your job, they're going to buck you off.
Oh, I see. It's kind of like a team effort between you and the horse.
Yeah,
I see.
They're half your score. So.
Mm-hmm. So in a way, you do kind of work together, because I guess from afar, someone who might not know, it just kind of looks like the horse just wants you off his back.
Mm-hmm. The horse definitely plays a big factor in it.
Oh, that's pretty interesting to know.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend, September 2nd and 3rd, is the Nicola Valley Pro Rodeo. And what days that you're on? Are you on both days?
No, I will just be riding there on Saturday.
If you don't win this, that doesn't knock you out of first quite yet, right?
No. I pretty much got first locked up going into the finals. I don't think anybody will be able to catch me now. I got enough lead. There's not quite enough money to be won. Canada to catch me, anyways.
Yeah, you're ahead by about 30,000 right now.
Yeah.
So that's a very comfortable lead headed into the Nicola Valley Pro Rodeo. So that's when you'll see the number 1 saddle bronc rider looking to keep that title. I mean, he will keep that title.
Yeah, that's the plan.
What time are you riding on Saturday?
The rodeo starts at 1 p.m. I'll probably be riding at about 1:45 or 2 o'clock.
So about 1:45, 2 o'clock, that's when you see number 1, Layton Green, on his bronc.
Yep.
Do bronc riders have a pregame meal? Do you like to have a pregame meal before you get on?
Oh, it depends. Usually we try and eat a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours before we ride. And yeah, usually you don't usually eat, a half hour before you get on. A lot of guys don't like to do that. Usually everybody just, tries to eat, 2 or 3 hours before, but I don't really have a set thing I eat before I get on. It's just kind of whatever I feel.
Right. Layton, where'd you grow up, man?
I grew up in Meeting Creek, Alberta.
Can you describe for us the first time that you got on to a horse with the intention of riding it like a bronc ride?
Well, when I grew up, we used to have a little pony that would buck around, and we'd ride it in a bronc saddle, just mess around as kids. But the first time I ever got on an actual bronc, I think I was 14 years old in Fettler, Alberta.
And how long did you last the very first time?
Oh, about 3 jumps.
So practice, man. But
yeah.
were you kind of in love with it on that first go around?
Yeah, I think so. It's totally different. It's such an adrenaline addiction. I think you get addicted to that more than anything. But I love riding broncs, and that's right off the bat, that's what I wanted to do. And I was actually riding bulls at the same time.
Yeah, so that's the path that you took. You didn't really waste any time in getting there. I mean, you're only 23 right now.
Yeah.
So you're still a young kid, man, and you're doing all right by the looks of it.
Yeah, no, it's been good.
How long have you been number 1 right now? It says 30 in brackets. Does that mean 30 weeks?
No, that's how many rodeos I've been to. I've probably been number 1 in Canada since probably June.
Okay, so you've been number 1 all summer, and you haven't looked back since. And like you said, it looks like you're going to have that comfortable lead going into the finals. This will be a good chance for us here to watch the number 1 bronc rider as he prepares for that big event. The next one up is the Nicola Valley Pro Rodeo. That's going to be this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, both days starting at 1 p.m.
Yeah, the Canadian finals are in Edmonton, and that's what I'm number 1 for. I'm actually number 4 in the world standings, and that's for Las Vegas.
Oh, so who's number 1 right now?
The number 1 guy in the world is Jacob Scrolly from Bourne, Texas.
Now, you've participated in a lot of events that the number 1 has been in, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So you've seen him up close and personal. What do you think that you can do, I guess, come the finals to, I guess, get the best of him?
Oh, just try and do the best you can on every horse you get. And, guys stub their toe here and there. Everybody does, and that's just the way it is. And it's just going to come down to, who rides the best at the finals. So you just kind of do your deal and ride every horse the best you can.
Okay, so it's kind of like a recovery thing. You say the stub your toe thing again. Like it's bound to happen. It's just how you recover.
Yeah, it's you don't really look at it in an aspect of riding against somebody else. You're pretty much riding against your horse. You wanna outride your horse, and if you outride every horse you get on, and you don't win, everybody else, he probably rode his horse as good as he could every time too. So it's just kind of as long as you do your part, you gotta just be happy with that.
See, it's kind of like a game of golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not really against the other guy. You're just playing your game, and as long as you play your game to the best of your ability, you have a good chance of winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, man. All right, so that's what you see him this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, before he prepares for the Canadian Nationals, which he is number 1 for, and then the World, which he is currently number 4. Now, you're far and above number 1 for the Canadian rankings. Where are you as far as the world rankings? Are you able to make a leap by the time the finals come, or are you pretty much set at the number 4 spot?
Oh no, there's a lot of money to be won yet down south. A guy can still win, $50,000 in the next month, down south. So, I could dang sure get to probably number 2 in the world, and maybe even number 1 if everything went my way. But I got to do a pile of winning if I want to get to number 1. Jacobs, he's got a pretty good lead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you got your work cut out for you for the Worlds.
Yeah.
But that would be a great step if you can get that Canadian National one as well in Edmonton there that you said.
Yep, in Edmonton.
And this is the road to both of those events. this weekend, the Nicola Valley Pro Rodeo. So like I said, if you want to see the Canadian #1 ranked Bronc rider right now, this Saturday and Sunday is where you'll see him. Layton, thanks so much for joining us today, man.
Yep, you betcha.